right, Joey is back with us. We got some stuff to talk about. I mean, we could recap last week's games because some of them had real implications for the state playoff tournament. I can't even say it. Whatever. Joe, how are you, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah,
we have a lot of teams in this postseason tournament, in the 30s, I believe. So between all the sports, so I'm a busy man, but I'm a happy man. It's a good time.
Between soccer and tennis too, or golf.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Everything.
I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
I was so focused on football, I forgot there's other sports happening as well.
Oh, yeah.
Football-wise, we got season ending. Well, a lot of teams their postseason dreams came to an end last week. Classical had who'd you send out there? Were you out there? Were you guys out there for the Classical?
We were
game?
out there, and what are you going to do? It's just they ran into a tough opponent, and unfortunately, the game was just a very tough time in the schedule. A lot of pressure there on the road. So Everett didn't make it either, actually. That's a subject for a different time.
Oh, man, I don't even want to go back to that. But in this game, I felt Classical had so many chances to take full control of the game when it was, I think it was 7-6 at one point, then it was 9-6, but it stayed at 9-6 for a while, and then Classical had some drives that they got into the Everett territory, they got into red zone, and I felt like they had a touchdown call back because I think it was an illegal formation or illegal shift or something like that, which probably would have gave them another boost and they would have taken a 12-7 lead. And Everett fumbled the ball a lot, and Rams didn't capitalize and recover those fumbles. So I felt like they had Classical. There were chances for them to put themselves in a position to win this game early and take full control of this game, and it didn't happen. And then when you run into a team like that, eventually the talent is going to take over at some point.
And I'm not an excuse guy, and I know Coach Brian Vaughn isn't either, but you can't help but recognize that Everett's 75 players on its roster, I think, might have made a difference. It's a lot, and when you think that it was 9-6 at halftime, and then the subs are fresh and everything kicks in the second half. So a great season for Classical, unfortunately.
Yeah, they got Lawrence. They got Lawrence, I believe, in the consolation game. Two non-playoff games, I should say, and before they get ready for Thanksgiving game. St. Mary's, they're getting healthy at the right time, actually. Joel Maggs made his return. Looked like he didn't miss a beat. I believe they're getting Ernie Paneas back for their postseason game. A lot of guys coming back with the talent that they already have. It's a good time for them to get a full team.
And if St. Mary's makes a run this season, that's really scary thinking about the next few seasons too, when all those young players develop even further.
Yeah.
And like you said, healthy at the right time.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how these young guys perform on the bright stage.
Definitely. Their quarterback, he's impressed me. This was the quarterback's impressed me. I really focused on him, just how he controlled Belliard.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just how he controlled the offense, how he was able to get the guys, their playmaker, how he was able to get Tyler the ball, he was able to get Nick the ball, just get the ball to their playmakers, and how they used him too. They moved him around in the pocket. They didn't just have him sitting in the pocket. They moved him. They used his athleticism, and then to top that off, you got the young freshman Maxwell Parent, who's just running wild offensively, and he's making impact plays defensively. I think he had 14 tackles. He registered against Archbishop Williams. Team is coming together at the right time.
And for St. Mary's, I think it's all about skill players in space. I think when Max and Tyler Guy get space, they're dangerous. Whether that be on an end around or a little screen pass or a quick slant, St. Mary's can beat you in different ways with different players. And like you said, healthy at the right time. I think they're ready to go, and they finished with a better record than Fenwick.
Yeah. And I'm just looking at,
which I know that matters for St. Mary's fans.
Yeah, it does matter for them a lot. And I'm just thinking about if Ernie is able to play in this postseason game now, the more stuff you can do with Max, with Tyler, with all those other guys, offensively, just like the things they can do with that, defense is going to be stressed out.
And last year, I was there and made about a 2-hour drive. They won this road game deep in the winter to go to the next round of the tournament. I wonder if they have kind of the experience and mindset to do that. I like to think they do. But again, seeing what those young players do in a situation like that, It's going to be fun to watch.
What they have on their side is they went up there and won already a couple weeks ago. So they have that in their back pocket, and we have a potentially big matchup in the second round if St. Mary's and Salem both do what we think they'll do and win their games. That next round matchup if it does happen between them and Salem, we talk about some tough football that's going to be played. That's going to be a good one.
Talk about a crowded press box.
Man, I'm going to be on the field. I know they didn't want to end their season. They didn't get the result they wanted. But Kip Academy and Manchester Essex, they played a wild back and forth game. I told you before. Every time these two teams get together, it's not a normal game. It's always some wild game that they play together, and this one was no different. 41-40 was our final score. Manchester Essex, Stephen Martin, 215 yards rushing. He came out to play. They needed that win too to position it to get themselves into playoffs and get themselves, a better ranking than what they had going into that game. And once again, Kip Academy, although they lost, that offense, man. Because now we're not only talking about Mornell Castro, we're talking about Jose Echeverria, we're talking about Jovan Machado, Chanel Gutierrez, who's a threat throwing and running the ball, Andrew Gonzalez. Man, I think they have it in them to make another run at Gillette.
I definitely do. I said that in week 2, and I'll say it now. I think so. Coach Rabbit wasn't the happiest the other day.
Understandable.
We had a different reporter there, but that's what I heard. Mm-hmm. And but now, as a program, it's just time to look ahead. It's just one loss.
Yeah.
So now it's how do we fix certain things, whether it be the defensive end or something like that, into these bigger games. I know Kip is able to do that. And so we talked to Coach Rabbit this week about the matchup this Friday, and he wants to keep things simple. He really does.
Yeah.
Similarly to St. Mary's, just skill players in space, getting them the ball. How do you do that? So I know that's what they're working on, and if Kip keeps things simple, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, and they just they got the experience, they got the skills, they have everything. They have everything right at their hand to make a run at Gillette. So hopefully, we get a better result. But I think they'll be one thing they'll be ready for is they'll be ready to play Friday. They'll definitely be ready to play Friday because this is especially for those seniors, this is their last chance at getting one.
Do you think the loss is a good thing almost? That's what Coach Rabbit was saying. In a way, to find the positive out of that game, his players are looking for some avenging.
Yeah,
and, you never know. We might
see
see a mean Kip team Friday night.
Especially defensively.
Yeah.
Defensively. All right, our last two teams in the city, Lynn English dropped to, I don't even know, they're 2-6. They finished with a 2-6 record, losing to Medford 16-9, and more the same, what I've been talking about all year. Inconsistency everywhere.
Young, some matchups where winnable games, not won, but at the same time, they did get 2 road wins, so that's a plus. I think you just take the positives and, 1 road win?
1 road win.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 road win, one home win.
1 home win, okay.
Yeah.
And I think now you just take the positives into Thanksgiving, and I think that game could be closer than some people on the classical side might think. I think English, I think it's going to be a close game.
You think it's going to be
1
a
or 2
close
possessions, yeah.
I'm hoping it's a close game. I'm hoping the Thanksgiving game is a close game, but from what I've seen from both teams throughout this season, they might be like digging the dirt on them. It might be trying to get out the shovel and like.
You never know on Thanksgiving. These teams are going to be fresh.
This is true.
They're not going to be sore. You never know what could happen, and that stuff matters.
Yeah, rivalry games, so you never throw the records away. Rivalry games, records don't matter at that point. All the seniors are trying to get out with a win.
And you're trying to put on a show for a bigger crowd too.
You have a point there, but yeah, let me not harp on. Let me not kick a dog while it's down.
Wow.
those are my guys. And lastly, Lynn Tech. Man, this was 2 weeks in a row. I don't know what was going on, but last week it was second they had a better second half than first half, but this week it was just not there at all. Nothing. It was just not there. And I couldn't even pinpoint why not, because they had moments where they were moving the ball and getting things going, but it was just not there. I don't know.
No, it's not there, and they were, I believe, 3-1, right? Mm-hmm. So the second half of the season didn't go as planned for the Tigers, which is unfortunate. They lost some close games. They lost some games in the fourth quarter this fall. But, like I just said about English, you look forward to Thanksgiving. You try to find the positives that you did get from your wins, and you go from there.
Get these consolation games. I keep calling them whatever. Consolation games, non-playoff games, whatever. However they're calling it. I don't know how they're calling it. So you get those 2 games and try to send their seniors off to the swan song, as they say. But
did you have fun covering Lynn football this year? I did.
I had fun. Yeah. I definitely had fun. There was moments where I was depressed up there, as an alum watching my school. There was moments of depression, but it was fun. It was fun. I love watching these kids play. We've had some wild games. We had some not so wild games, and it's just always good to see these kids play. So I had fun, but it's almost over, thank goodness, because it's starting to get cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I know. Beanies are coming out.
Yeah, November 27th, officially time for winter sports. So we'll be inside.
Yeah.
Minus state tournament, state championship football games and stuff like that. But what articles you got up this week?
Just a lot of game coverage. Like I said at the beginning of the segment, 31 teams in the item has local teams in state tournaments across all sports. So we'll be covering each and every one.
Can you give us the soccer updates or the soccer matchups if you know them off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, we have about 20. A lot of teams.
From the
in
local
there.
teams. From
local teams.
Here.
Yeah. St. Mary's Saturday. Lynn Tech. The matchups off the top of my head.
Okay. St. Mary's, Lynn Tech are in.
Yep.
Boys and girls.
Yep.
Awesome. Make sure you check them out. Lynn Class School. They got the fisticuffs going on their last game against Chelsea. It was ready to fight out there. Oh, man, everybody was ready to fight. Thanks, Joey, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. As
almost
always.
Basketball season. I can't wait. We're out of here.